everybody. Vinny Sinisi here. I'm out to lunch today with a couple of, I don't even know, are we friends? Huh? Great friends. These guys run the Woodlands. Is it like being the mayor to be the chairman of the what is it? The chairman of
the board for the Woodlands.
Chairman of the board for the Woodlands, and you're vice chair?
Woodlands Township Board of Directors. It's a mouthful.
Did nobody else like raise their hand, or did you lose a bet? What's
Exactly.
I mean, I get asked that question a lot. I'm sure Brad does too.
How-
It's
how
actually
long
his fault while I'm in this.
It is? He got you.
I recruited him.
He put that bug
Come
in my
on,
ear.
nobody else wants to do anything with me.
Yeah.
So how'd you get roped into this deal?
Oh, I guess when did their incorporation vote, I got involved, and just understanding the difference between the city and the township it's a very unique model. And I was a city councilman in Nassau Bay, down where I grew up my whole life, down in Clear Lake, and for 3 terms, and I kind of knew what a city was, so I did my research, and I'm like, hey, man, this is a pretty good model. This ain't a bad model, so I think we should stay with it. And I got involved, and little did I know I was getting recruited by Danny Signorelli to start running, and he's like, oh, you'll spend like 2-3 hours a week on this job. As a lie.
You'll spend 2 or 3 hours a week sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. So here I am, and then I'm serving my second term, my 4th year, and then I met Craig at Leadership Montgomery County. I've known his dad a long time. We were on the same class for Leadership Montgomery
Best
County.
class ever.
Yeah, best class ever. And
I can look at that camera, right?
Yeah, you can look right in there.
so we met each other. I liked him. I said, man, this guy's great. So I called his dad up and like, hey, look, we're getting ready to call Craig and ask him to run for the township board. And, I think Rob got a little choked up, and I'm like, I just need you to follow up my call after I call him. And like, we just start, tag team working him. And we got him across the finish line. He's done a great job. And he's brought a lot.
You went to Clear Creek High School.
That's right.
Played a little baseball.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Yeah. Craig played a little baseball at the Woodlands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks to you, my career in
ended.
baseball. Right? Yeah. It ended before it started.
He played for me on a little league team also that won. Well, we didn't win the state championship in '94. We won it in '93.
Almost, yeah. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
When Brad Hibbets wanted to warm up and fell off the mound on his first.
Matt Hibbets.
It was Matt?
Matt.
He would remember that. So Matt Hibbets went out through the first pitch to warm up and fell off the mound. And the coach and I looked at each other like, now what?
I think we're in trouble.
Yeah. Gave up like an 8-run lead. So, but did you even play on that team?
Ride, though.
You pitched on that team.
I played on the team. I threw out somebody from right field at third base. I remember that was, I threw a hose.
Yeah, you did.
Threw a hose from right field to third base in the state tournament. I still remember that.
Well, you went out there and pitched one time.
He probably got the video.
And we had to take him out. And his mom, God, I hope you're watching this. The mom said, Mom. You've scarred him for life. I said, good. He'll grow up and be a great man. Is that true?
Thanks to you.
Yeah. No, don't blame me. No. I mean, it's your dad's DNA. So if anything goes wrong.
No. That I don't remember that. I mean, I remember pitching, and we were in the losers bracket, I think. And so we were losers. All right. Yeah, we were kind of dead to rights. So maybe that's why I got the nod.
How did you guys meet?
Through Leadership Montgomery County. We're in the same class. Now I found out he still holds the 3-point record at Woodlands High School. I mean, he's just an incredible athlete, all around stud.
I think he's adopted.
Yeah. I may also hold the record for most attempted 3-point shots.
Well,
so
Michael Jordan said, hey, you're not going to make any of the shots you don't take, right. So let's go.
I never saw a shot I didn't like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember you playing there. Good athlete. And then you got a brother and a sister. Were they good athletes?
Yeah, my brother, he played a little basketball. I played a little baseball growing up, but he didn't like it as much as basketball. But he missed his calling as a cross-country runner.
Oh, yeah.
That dude could run and never get tired.
And your dad, he was a freaking fighter pilot, right?
Fighter pilot. Grew up in Philly and New Jersey, went to Princeton. And then I think got his architecture degree. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Architecture.
Yeah. He's a Mensa.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't even talk to me when I got older. He was like,
yeah, his photographic memory did not get passed down to me, unfortunately.
Nice. So Brad, you went to Ole Miss.
I did. I went to Ole Miss, and and love my Rebels. We're finally relevant again in the college football world.
Right.
Finished number 3 in the nation. Had a little coaching change. Lane Kiffin's the worst, but no, he's a great coach. But he went to a great program. I mean, LSU's great, but we're going to beat the hell out of them.
Are you?
September 18th.
Who's ranked number 1? Is Vanderbilt? Who's number 1 in the nation right now in NCAA baseball?
I don't know.
Texas Vanderbilt.
Was. We dropped a little.
You got
bit.
Alabama, I think, is up there. Arkansas is always a perennial.
Yeah.
TCU.
Georgia's up there.
Georgia's up there. Mississippi
Look it
State.
up. We ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
The whole SEC.
Yeah, and we're just getting into the end of the season, end of the regular season. I think all the tournaments are probably this weekend anyway. So you got into finance and marketing.
Business more than finance. I think but I just had a little minor in that. So.
And how'd you end up back in the Woodlands?
My wife grew up here, and we were living in Austin. Her parents moved here in '78. Her family, do you know Jack Ryan?
Yeah.
Jack's her uncle, and her mom, it's her brother.
Shut up.
Yeah. So Chad Ryan, who also played baseball.
Office right across the hallway.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Chad, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bring him
wow.
over.
Bring him over. Yeah. So we moved back. We had family. We got pregnant. We're living in Austin, and we're like, we can't raise our child in Austin. That's communism. So we moved to Woodlands. So we came back here. So it was great. I mean, we love it. It's an incredible place. I mean, truly. We do. I have one from a previous marriage. She's 21, graduating from Texas State on the 15th of May.
Oh, wow.
Her name's Bryn. And then I have my son Brady is 10, and my daughter Brooklyn is 7. So I've got like the whole age bracket covered.
Yeah, you're handcuffed for the next 20 years.
I'm the oldest man at the PTA meeting.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I remember when my daughter, you would get calls from the school. Angelica in school today. I said, what are her grades? Well, she's got all A's. I said, call me when she's got a B. You're not challenging her enough. Right?
Yeah.
And so
she can miss a day or two.
She had like 24 dual credits when she graduated.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I got 24 credits in high school. So your dad and I have been friends since I moved to the Woodlands in 80, moved to Texas in 78. And the Woodlands had 8,000 people. Your dad was the Rotary Club guy. I was the Lions Club guy. Yeah. And every week we were in the Courier. Do they still have the Courier?
They do.
They do?
Oh, yeah.
The Courier. No, wait a minute. The Villager. The Villager was the local. Do we still have that?
Yes.
We do?
Yeah.
I moved away. So the Villager, every week, your dad or I or both would be in there. We dressed the same. We had the same haircut. People were like, hey, I saw your picture in the Villager this way. So that was Rob.
The two Yankees.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's quite a history in the Woodlands. How many people we got here now? 120?
Almost 130,000, yeah.
130,000. Yeah. When we met George, back when we put the racquetball club in, George, Dick Brown, Virgil Yoakum, all those top guys, right? They were like, oh, we're going to have like 120,000 in the Woodlands one day. I'm like, this is 1980. I'm like, what? I mean, I know everybody in the Woodlands. There's 8,000 people.
Could you imagine that vision, though? Think about like the roads they designed. Woodlands Parkway, Lake Woodlands, Research were all designed to have 130,000 people in it, and still have the tree buffers and all that. I mean, that's like next level thinking.
Oh, it was phenomenal, and it's a swamp.
Yeah.
I mean, when he bought that, when George bought it, people were like, what are you doing? 25,000 acres of swampland. And I've told this story on the podcast before. I met the guy that was the first front end loader, bulldozer guy. They unloaded it off the truck and it sunk up to the first tread. They had to call another one to pull it out of there. That's how bad it was. And the bridge, the Woodlands Parkway Bridge in 1981 was 2 lanes. Had the suicide chain link fence over it.
Yeah.
And at 5 o'clock at night, it was so popular living out here that people would be on that bridge, bumper to bumper to bumper, and you could feel that bridge just swaying back and forth because it was dangerous. Nobody ever came out here. Who wants to go see the swamp? And George wanted Woodlands Parkway to be the main entrance. He didn't want people going in sawdust and sawmill. But, I mean, the guy made money, the first HUD project to make money over there on Red Cedar Circle, over there where we had the racquetball club. So why'd you want to get into this, Brad? I mean,
well, I got called. I had a friend of mine that was going to run, and he was all in, and he works for Wells Fargo and wealth advising. His name's Will Murphy. I'll just give him a shout out. And because the township has their accounts with Wells Fargo, they wouldn't let him run. So it was like I had 2 days to file. So my phone starts blowing up on a Sunday night. And my wife were like, "What the hell's going on here?" And we answer the phone. It's Danny Signorelli, and you Italians can be pretty convincing. Yeah, so he convinced me to. I mean, and I was really nervous about it at first, but honestly, it's a great blessing. I've met so many incredible people that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know Craig before this. I didn't know Lyndon Nelson. I didn't know Richard Franks. I didn't know Kyle Watson. So all these people that we've served with and have really great relationships with, we all met through the township. And the passion and love for this community is contagious. And I'm just kind of I look at my role as like trying to keep it on the tracks and not screw it up, because last thing you want to be known for is the guy who totally screwed up what George Mitchell built. And we've got
about that pretty quick.
Yeah, but we've got a great board that really all of us care. Everyone cares deeply about the community.
It's how many two 4-year terms?
Two 2-year terms. Oh, okay. You got to run
and then are you out?
And then I'm out. I'm running for Rob Eissler's old seat in the state house and the state representative. So I'm
who's in there now?
Steve Toth is running for Congress,
right? But he won.
So he's running Congress. It was open seat, and I ran for it. So I'm the Republican nominee, and I've got 2 opponents in November.
So your dad was the state rep for how many years?
For 10?
Yeah.
10 years? You can fact check me on that. Sorry, Dad. But yeah.
I told you it was adopted.
Yeah. I think it was 10. So funny enough, his first term was when I went to University of Texas there in Austin, and so did my brother. So my freshman year is when he decided to run for the first time.
That's crazy.
And
that was 01?
01. Yeah, 01. And so I guess
good year.
03 would have been his first term. Anyway.
You went to Texas in 9/11.
Yeah, so
9/11, right?
9/11, I still remember I was walking out of an 8 a.m. class when we got notified.
Great Rob Eissler story on him, his first term. So in running for the state house, I get to meet all these old state reps and stuff. And, I used to serve with Eissler. I was his desk mate, all the time. And we're out, we're late the session, and they're in there till like 3 o'clock in the morning doing votes. Everything's getting hectic. And Rob goes, "Hey, can you give me a ride to my apartment?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll give you a ride. Where do you live?" He goes, "Oh, I live on campus." And he goes, "What? You live on campus?"
Just north.
He's like, "Yeah, I live with my boys. My boys are at school at UT." And he goes, "I live with them. I sleep on the couch." And he goes, "We walk in there and they're all playing video games, got girls over, and old man Eissler's got a cot on the couch." And I'm like, "That's got to be awkward as hell." Like you come home from the bar and like, "Hey, Dad, keep it down here." I mean,
we're sitting there hanging out and like, hey, who's that old guy on the couch? Like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
he's homeless. He's cool. Yeah,
he's a state rep. He doesn't mean anything.
He's chair of the education committee. House education committee. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
so when I moved here, right, it was all we had was Panther Creek and Grogan's Mill. We had 2 out of the 5 villages. I lived in Panther Creek, right next to where the Panther Creek Village Center is. I wasn't even there. Right. 1981. And then Sterling Ridge, Indian Springs, and what's the other one? Cochran's Crossing. So, but they were all separate, right? They were all separate, like, entities. Right. Now it's all pushed together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it a tax thing, or is it, it's just easier to manage, or?
Why are they all the villages together?
Yeah, it's like a township now. It used to be.
Oh, yeah. So they were all, there was, George Mitchell. The brilliance about George Mitchell is he always made money on other people's money.
Yeah.
So
the government.
He was smart the way he got the HUD loan and was able to do that. But all these neighborhoods were all originally laid out, but there was like one big special purpose district, and you had the Woodlands. What was it called? The utility district. And you had the Woodlands Improvement District or whatever. And they merged them all together, I think, in 2010. And Tommy Williams and Rob Eissler carried the legislation that made us a township. So, being the only township in Texas, we have all the powers of pretty much all the taxing powers that we have. Property taxes, sales tax, hotel occupancy tax, and now mixed beverage taxes that a city does. But we operate very differently. We outsource things. We work with the county a lot. We don't have a jail in the Woodlands. We don't have a courtroom in the Woodlands. We all send them to the county jail and the county court system. We utilize the sheriff's office like it is our own police department.
Yeah.
And it works because we spend $20 million on public safety a year. And the city of Conroe is almost the same size as us. They spend over $50 million a year in public safety. So you look at that, it's pretty good limited government model that works.
They need a new jail too up there in Conroe.
Yeah,
that thing.
and a new courthouse.
We did a podcast with Vincent Santini and talked about the courthouse and how it's falling apart and rats running around and homeless people living underneath it. And I think recently they've created some sort of policy or legislature where they're going to actually build a new facility, which is great.
Yeah, all the judges really united on that and really pushed it forward.
That's good. The county commissioners are the ones they had to get over the line. Yep. So what's the biggest challenge for you guys in the township?
I like to say, Craig, you can probably elaborate on this some too, is public safety. I mean, that southern borderline with Harris County is real. The criminal element that comes over from the 1960 area and Guns Point Mall area, I mean, it's real. They don't realize where the county line is. So making sure we have the police officers.
Stupid criminals.
But making sure we have the police officers have all of the sheriff's department, the constable's office have all the tools they need to keep us safe. I think is really our biggest issue.
There were 3 sheriffs in the Woodlands, and their office was right there at Grogan's Mill and Almost Research, that little area back in there, just down from the firehouse. They had 3 cops that managed this whole place in 1980, and now I've talked with the sheriff and trying to get the sheriff in here to do a podcast, and blown up. 130,000 people. I mean,
well, not only that, but I mean, Brad's right. I mean, you got the southern border of Texas, right? People coming up, but then they
not anymore.
Further up, not anymore. But they did. They were coming, and so they were moving north, and so we've heard stories from Montgomery County, sheriff's office and the DA's office.
Don't do crime in Montgomery County.
I'm telling you, those dumb criminals, they think they're still in Harris County. And
well, it's funny because Judge Santini, I told him, I said, the biggest deterrent about doing crime in Montgomery County is going to that courthouse and that jail. Just take them there. They won't commit any crimes.
It's true.
So what's the future hold? What do you do? What's a daily activity for the president and vice president, chairman, vice chairman, whatever your titles are?
You go fire away at this one. I answered the last one.
Yeah, because when does your term end?
In November.
Both of ours. So,
and then you're automatically in there?
No. So, as you asked earlier, so there are 7 seats on the board, and they're 2-year terms. And so the 2 of us and the 2 others, Lennon Nelson and Richard Franks, ran a year and a half ago.
That's an overlap. Yeah,
right. And so the other 3 ran this past November, right? So this coming November, our 4 seats will be up.
And I roll off to go to the state. Yeah. Hopefully, if I win my election in November, go to the state house. And
it looks good.
So far, so far good. Okay. So far it looks good. Cool. We got to keep working and get the message. The district is so much bigger. So it's the Woodlands, most of the Woodlands, not the Harris County side. And the little back at Sterling Ridge is not included, but it goes all the way to Bender's Landing, Imperial Oaks, all the way past Grand Oaks High School. Yeah. So it's all southern Montgomery County.
Grand Oaks University down there. You seen that? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you probably couldn't make a 3-pointer down there. different latitude and longitude.
Right.
Yeah. So you roll off, and then there's an election.
There's an election. Yeah.
For you, and who is anybody running against?
Well, we don't know we'll know the summer.
When do they find out? When do you find out?
It's early. Probably in the summer that people start filing.
Have you heard any rumors about?
I haven't. No? Have you?
No, I can't vote here. I don't live here anymore. I loved living here. Great place.
Where do you live now?
I can't tell you that. Witness protection program. Me and Signorelli.
You and Signorelli, exactly.
I live in Bentwater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my 3rd forever home, according to my wife. Yeah. We lived here for 20 years, and then we moved out to Lake Windcrest in Magnolia because my daughter had a movement disorder, so we had to give her brain surgery so she could ride a horse and not fall off. And then after they all left, my 3 kids, then my wife says, well, we don't need 4.5 acres. I want a smaller place. The place is the same size, just less land. And so we moved up to Bentwater next to her best friend, which is great. So I just kind of follow her around. It's like, hey, where are we moving? I told her I wanted to move to Naples. She said, Italy. I said, no, Florida. It doesn't ever get cold there. And this year it didn't even get cold here for a couple days. But yeah. So how many people on there? 7?
7.
7 of us.
And then what do y'all vote on? I mean, what do you have to take care of every day?
Well, our primary objective is the budget, setting the budget for the township for that next year, and setting the tax rate.
Oh,
yeah.
But we have all the rates. The tax rate's good because we're not going to get annexed by Houston.
That's right.
I mean, George, when he built this place, all the sewer manhole covers say Houston, right?
Still, yeah.
Yeah. I think he thought that it might happen one day, but don't we give like a penny of each tax?
We do. We give like 1/18 of a penny of our sales tax, which equates to about $3 million a year that we give the city of Houston.
City of Houston.
$3 million a year. And but there's really annexing, the rules of the legislature changed since Mr. Mitchell is here, and they don't allow annexation without a vote. And we voted overwhelmingly to stay as a township. So there's no choice, but you're still paying $3 million a year in sales tax. We call it our penance payment.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Orwell Baseball Park. I mean, that got rented for $1 a year. George just donated that, and we leased it for $1 a year. And remember all the trouble we used to have trying to get the county to work on the field.
Sure.
We had all volunteers that did most of it because they didn't want to do anything with it. But we still won a state championship in '93 from that one. So,
So we have over 150 parks in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
We have 220 miles of pathways. We own the waterway now. We've got a vibrant commercial district. So one interesting fact is that's, I think, different than most cities, almost any city. 70% of our revenue comes from use tax, sales taxes, mixed beverage tax, hotel occupancy taxes, taxes that people use coming here and visiting here or shopping here. And then 30% comes from property taxes. So we have one of the top 10 lowest property tax rates in the entire state of Texas. And that's not the norm. Conroe and the city of Houston have the exact opposite problem.
Oh, I know. Real estate agent. I mean, I know all that stuff. That's really important. That's why people want to move to Woodlands.
Right.
The thing is, the Woodlands is kind of sold out. You're not going to get a new neighborhood like you growing up and me growing up that, you had a whole new neighborhood every weekend. And now it's like, wow, and that's good for home values. Where your dad and mom, they still live in that same place?
They do. Yeah,
that place, they're tearing those down and building new places.
Oh yeah, that's a problem though. We got to make sure we make them look and feel the Woodlands. It don't look like some, crazy architectural, place. Who knows what Rob Eissler will do? He went to architectural school.
Some old Miss guy building some pink house in there. So, you guys are like Columbia blue or
some Southern.
What's the colors?
No, powder blue now.
Powder blue,
powder blue. So
you have rebels on their side of the garage.
That's exactly. But no, it's an incredible community. But there's a lot. We have deed restrictions. We have covenants and things that's pretty strict. And Mr. Mitchell still has his fingerprints all over that.
Oh, I know.
So now we've got to keep up with that. And but people weren't envisioning back in the day having solar panels on the roof and charging your cars in the garage and
those
all
electric
the different
vehicles.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you asked us what some of our challenges are.
The grid?
The e-vehicles, not the e-cars, not the e-electric.
E-scooters.
Oh, yeah. People running over each other.
Yeah.
But they're giving there'll be kids that'll be 8 years old barefoot. Those things go up 30, 40 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're whipping down the park, and some old guys walking his dog and his wife. You can't hear them coming up. They're so quiet and startles them. The dog goes crazy. They fall down. It's a mess.
What's the deal with, because some of the Woodlands is in Harris County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Creekside.
Creekside
Park.
What is there a different tax consequence? Are there different deed restrictions? I mean,
yeah. So the village.
If you live in Creekside,
the village of Creekside Park is all in Harris County. So our law enforcement contract with Harris County Constable Precinct 4, Mark Herman, they do all the patrolling in there. But that was Mr. Mitchell bought that land as part of the original deal. It was actually a horse farm. A lot of people don't realize the reason the trees aren't growing up like they were here is because it was a horse farm.
Yeah,
and it had massive pastures and things like that. So they went in and planted them and built them. But each one of the neighborhoods or the villages have a a different, DNA of their own and a little differently. But I can tell you, looking at the tax brackets, in Harris County, when just the regular homeowner gets their tax bill each year, there's 9 taxing authorities on that bill in Harris County.
Jeez.
In the Woodlands, there's 6. So, I mean, it's just kind of the tale of 2 different counties. Montgomery County operates a lot different than Harris County.
Yeah. And then what about crime? Is crime good, bad? I mean, no crime is good.
I think it's been really good so far. I mean, we've really, Wesley Doolittle, I can tell you, who's probably the biggest law enforcement presence in our contract. When he came on as sheriff, night and day, the way they were operating. I've just been really, really impressed with he and his deputies. Captain Drody runs the division in the Woodlands, but they're present. They're out. You can see their cars out a lot more often. They're pulling over the bad guys. We've given them technology to use to help with that, and it's our number one issue. We've got to stay on top of it because if you let up a little bit, the thugs will get in and start creating havoc. So.
Yeah, he told me, Sheriff Doolittle told me that they had like thousands of calls that didn't get answered on their 911 because it came into a dispatch and somebody answered. Now he says, well, is it a fire? Is it a police? Is it a robbery? Where are we going to switch the 911 call to? I guess they've had tremendous results and responses from that. But you imagine?
No.
Yeah, it's
911, what's your emergency? Yeah. Can you hold?
Hold, please.
Yeah, hang on a second. You guys, put that gun down.
But the crazy.
Guys, hold on a sec.
The crazy thing is, when he won in November, he didn't get sworn in until midnight on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
At midnight. So literally, he takes over the entire agency on a crazy New Year's night, and it's like. Here's the keys to the car. Here's the key to the jail.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean,
jump in.
Could you imagine having to deal with that? I mean, this is a county. It's a big county. It's a growing county, rapidly growing. So I think the growth we're seeing, the traffic we see from that growth is another problem that we have.
Yeah, that might be a tough job, but I've been married for 45 years, so compete with that.
But yeah, it goes hand in hand with your question earlier about biggest challenge. I mean, crime. We're not complacent. We know we have it good here. We want to keep it that way. So,
what about flooding?
Flooding is something I whenever Hurricane Harvey hit, I'll never forget. We had what is the guy's name? Tomlinson. He writes for the Houston Chronicle in the business section. I don't think he's there anymore, but he actually wrote George Mitchell's autobiography, and he said if you want to do a study of what to do with flooding, look no further than the Woodlands. But if you look at parts of the Woodlands that George Mitchell has his fingerprints on, like from Cochran's Crossing down, every single one of the culverts and everything, they're all grass. So it seeps in more. It doesn't, you build rapid concrete barriers, water flows, and it floods a lot quicker. But Mr. Mitchell, with the native environment and the natural feeling, we have areas that things can go. Lake Woodlands is one big detention pond. It's really incredible what he's did, and I think we have not seen. Massive downpours, yes, but we don't see the flooding that a lot of municipalities see.
It's funny because when I moved to the Woodlands, where Lake Woodlands is, that water that goes underneath 45, when it rained, all that water got pushed over to Oak Ridge, and people in Oak Ridge had berms in their front yard to keep their houses from flooding. Flood gates to get into their house over the sidewalk.
Oh, wow.
And then as they built more and more, they were so mad at George, and as they built up the Woodlands, the lake, the waterway, everything else, it just subsided. If you go over the Oak Ridge now, none of those people have those berms there. Sure. But there were some famous houses over there. It was like we'd go over there when it rained just to see if it worked. It was crazy. And of course, Oak Ridge is blown. Oak Ridge won the baseball district this year over the Woodlands.
Sure.
Grand Oaks had a good team a couple years ago. Willis won it a couple. Willis.
Yeah, it's a heck of a district.
If you blinked, you missed Willis. That's how this area is
massive growth.
Yeah, growing up like crazy. So. What's the future? People want to move to the Woodlands. It's the number one place to live. Like the last 5 years, it's been like in the top 3, right? I don't know how it goes from 1 to 3. What happened? Excuse me.
Yeah.
They asked some different people. No, I mean, that's, our challenge. And that was one of the reasons why I was interested in, when I took his phone call, when he called me up. Kyle Watson was stepping down, his seat was coming available.
Nice.
And, they had asked me like, hey, you need to run for township. I said, no. They asked me again. Well, let me think about it. But yeah, I mean, part of that thought process was the Woodlands had just turned 50, gone through its 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And born and raised here, grew up here, saw what it was. And I don't know, I kind of saw that as being the bridge to the next 50, right? What's the next 50 gonna look like? And carry that torch on and represent the old guard, and as Brad said, not screw it up. Keep the vision alive. But things are going to change. I mean, they didn't envision e-vehicles, right? So how do those kinds of things transition into
you grew up in a family with parents that wanted to be mover and shakers. Your dad was big into the Rotary. I was big into the Lions. We wanted to help with everything.
Sure.
We actually had a party.
My mom was very active.
I don't want to talk about your mom.
Yeah.
So no, I'm kidding.
Jeez.
Love you, Miss Eissler, Grandma. So we had an actual party in that lake, that detention pond.
Yeah.
Okay, the last annual Bottom of the Lake Festival.
My wife was there as a kid.
Of course.
Yeah.
Cradle robber. So we had the Rotary Club selling hot dogs. We had the Lions Club selling. We had we had a tug of war in the bottom of the lake. People don't remember 1986. Okay, that was a big year because the Challenger blew up in January, and then we had the Bottom of the Lake Festival in like June or July, midsummer, and I mean it was the biggest thing ever. We actually dammed up the dragon so that Cynthia Mitchell could go out there and break a bottle of champagne over the dragon's head. Isn't that great? Yeah. And then after that, we had the Pride in America pageant, which brought Dave Smalley, who runs a catering service, that came out. He missed the Olympics because of the Moscow boycott. So we had him run out. The Olympic torch came through here in the off years, and he came and he would run the torch. And we had a cauldron built at McCullough, right, and balloons and horses and bands, and it was the big. Had a helicopter land on McCullough's field with an astronaut in it 6 months after the Challenger blew up. It was awesome. Very emotional. It was the biggest thing ever, other than the lake. Because I still have a vial of dirt that they gave me for being on the committee. Last annual Bottom of the Lake Festival. Here's a vial of dirt.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So the history that you're going to continue with and that you kind of fell into and said, I want to help, that's what we need with people that come to the Woodlands. You're always going to get the ones that complain because they don't do anything. Okay? It's always the ones that complain about the rain out at the baseball field, but they're not out there raking.
Right.
Okay. So I'm really respect for what you guys do as far as trying to keep this place running.
I appreciate
really
that.
I love the Woodlands. My wife says, we're going to move to Bentwater. I said, well, I'm in the Woodlands every day. What are we doing? Did you play with Jimmy Frazier?
Yeah, he's a little older than I was.
So Jimmy Frazier's father-in-law owns Woodlands Online. So 12 years ago, I got this call, hey, we're going to do Woodlands Online Sports, and we want you to announce the games. I'm like, no, I just want to advertise my real estate business. Leave me alone. Kind of like you. No, right?
Yeah.
And so Jimmy calls me, come on, Mr. Sinisi, you know everybody in the Woodlands, do it. So I got roped into that for 8 years, stopped doing it a few years ago. But we ended up turning it into terrible to a little less than terrible.
That's when you had me join you for a couple games.
Right? For the basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you knew basketball. We did football, basketball, volleyball, and softball.
Bring it in
there. And then it evolved right into like football only. And it ended up being really great. I had Coach Carson, when he came on, it was like, okay, now we got something. So
hey, I want to tell you the Bottom of the Lake story you just told about Dave Smalley.
Yeah.
I got to talk to Dave Smalley a bunch. He's still a legend around here, but he has grown that business to be massive. It started because that's a caterer to the bottom of the lake.
That's
festival.
right.
That's what started his catering business, and now he's catering many PGA golf tournaments.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got bought out by this huge Live Nation guy. That I mean, just incredible success story. Started at the bottom of the lake.
Yep.
So I mean, that's just. But we have so many people in our community that just are doers. They just make things happen.
That's the deal.
And that's what I think kind of in our DNA in our community. And Craig and I's job and the board's job is just not to screw it up.
Yeah. Dick Brown was part of our Lions Club, and every year he would do a slideshow about the evolution of the Woodlands. And I'm not kidding you. Market Street looks just like those slides. I mean, because he went out to California and did all that research, and I'm like, it looks just like the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. Looks exactly like the renderings that we saw. Yeah. And then, of course, they've done renovations to it and made it great. But
he had tell you a funny story, small world, that when I was on city council in Nassau Bay, we hired Richard Brown as a consultant to help us redesign the community. And part of that was us getting introduced to the Woodlands.
Oh, wow.
So came down here, we stayed at the whatever the hotel is there, the Hyatt Centric or whatever, it's at Market Street, walked around. He was explaining what the waterway is like and why they did the waterway and how it was like, everyone was like, this is nothing but a ditch, and now they turned it into that.
Yeah.
I mean, he just thought the next level.
Yeah.
And he designed he actually designed the pavilion, the original structure of the pavilion. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like it looks just like what he said it was going to be.
Unreal.
Which was crazy. So, all right. So what's the future for your family and you? I mean, you got a couple kids.
Yeah, I've got a couple kids.
They athletes?
I've got a 13-year-old son who is now in 7th grade at McCullough, and he's keeping us busy. He's doing the select baseball thing and basketball.
I got to do basketball. It's in the DNA.
He's gonna break the record, baby.
No kidding, Dad. Watch this.
No, it's funny how that works out. I mean, I wasn't trying to kind of steer him in any one particular sport. I was wanting him to play golf, so give me an excuse to go play.
Right? Yeah, let's go play.
Like, sorry, honey, I got to take him to the golf course and go play golf.
And then you're 13. Then you got another one.
Yeah, I've got a 10-year-old daughter who is really into volleyball. So I think select baseball is crazy.
Oh, I know.
Travel volleyball.
Vincent's got a 15-year-old 5'9" at Tomball.
Okay.
They went to Reno. This week they're going to George R. Brown. Next week they go to San Diego. I'm like, that costs more than the baseball thing.
I was just in Round Rock this past weekend for
a 10-year-old.
For a 10-year-old volleyball tournament. They had her very first tournament was out of town. Like, I think they've had one tournament this whole season locally.
You got to buy a Suburban.
Yeah, I mean, it's
loaded up.
And this weekend I was with her in Round Rock at a volleyball tournament, and my wife was here. My son had a baseball tournament, so it's like divided.
So what's your take? What's your take on that? What's your take on how youth sports are just so? I mean, baseball's so different than when we grew up.
Yeah. So select baseball started about 96 or 7.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a hybrid because they really didn't have a lot of select teams. There's a guy down in Houston that put together a select team, and then we didn't have a select team, so I just coached the Woodlands high school team, and we went down there in Bel Air and won the tournament. He was so mad. We don't even have select guys on there. These are all I selected all these guys.
We kind of had a de facto select team, the Heat.
Yeah, that was later.
Oh, okay.
This was 96.
No, this is like 94.
No.
91. Yeah, I was 11. I was 11, 12. We were playing Northwest 45 guys.
I'm old
in
now.
Select tournaments. Yeah. Against Kyle Foster, Michael Cepeda, Wardell Starling, all those guys.
Wardell, God, fastest guy I've ever
met
in my life.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's a lot of money. It's a big money grab. My son sent me 12-year-old rankings of kids in the whole country. I said,
oh my gosh.
Dude, that's 12 years old? Yeah. They can't even pee without getting it on themselves, okay?
Who's ranking these guys?
He's like, this kid 12. I said, well, that's great, but, we talked about this before we started the podcast about how difficult it is to get to the next level. And even if you do get to the next level, the chances of you making it on a big league field are just really staggering. Just go buy a lottery ticket because you probably get a better chance of winning. But everybody wants their kid to be, a professional basketball player, baseball player, volleyball. I mean, hell, I want to go watch beach volleyball. Heck with all this other baseball stuff. At least there's some action every time they hit the ball. And, I got a 7-year-old grandson that he's just out there, 7 years old, doing his thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what's he ranked?
It's got, well, he's not last, but he better hope that kid doesn't quit. So anyway, it's just a lot of money. I mean, they're getting those kids in there at 5 years old and 6 years old and 7. I go watch these 7-year-old games. I'm like, they don't even know which way to run.
Yeah. When you see 14 and 15-year-olds getting Tommy John surgery, I mean, that's when I'm just kind of like, come on now. I mean, it's just getting a little bit. I mean, because when we grew up, we all played multiple sports. And
Absolutely.
You're involved, and that was encouraged. Now it's not. You either choose one at 10 years old or else.
Well, it cracks me up watching professional baseball. Well, I hope we can get it to the 5th inning. I'm like, the 5th inning?
Right.
And for some reason, pitchers think they need to throw 20 pitches every inning. I mean, they got to get out in the 5th inning because they got 100 pitches thrown. I'm like, why don't we pitch like Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver and Bob Gibson? Those guys, I'm going to finish this game. If you didn't finish the game, you're kind of a loser. And now if you get to the 5th inning, there'll never be another 300-game winner.
Well, how much of that also is the amount of money they have invested in these guys and to risk injury?
Sure. I know Adam Dunn and Lance and I talked about this, Lance Berkman, and they were all like, I think it's great that they make all that money. I do too. I think if somebody would pay me, $10 million to do a podcast every week, I'd be like, hell yeah, here I am. But, better hope the bad guy doesn't die either. So, but yeah, and you've got kids too.
Yep, I got two. My son played some soccer for a long time, and he's now got into flag football. So he's doing the flag football route.
That's big.
And, he loves it. He loves it. But you wouldn't believe the 7-on-7 tournaments that come to the Woodlands. I mean, I got called. A friend of mine plays. My best friend growing up, her son plays for Westlake, and they came down here with a 7-on-7 team, and I mean, there were like 30 kids that were in the top 100 recruits in Texas. At the Woodlands, at Bear Branch Field Sportsplex, just playing. I mean, it was unreal. So it's, everything is just dialed up a little bit more. Kids are getting drafted, on 10-year-old watch lists, which is like crazy to me.
Sure. Yeah, I've got a grandson that plays at Tomball. He's a sophomore, and 2 kids that are seniors committed when they were sophomores to like Florida. The 2 seniors this year committed to A&M, like I think last year or the year before. I'm like, wow. So
my daughter's into cheerleading. You talk about a racket. Holy cow! I mean, the cheerleading stuff starts so young, and I mean, they're competitive, and I mean, it's massive money and investment, and uniforms and travel. We have a good friend of ours that's gone every weekend traveling for cheerleading. Sure.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Foster.
Yeah.
His daughter is like got a scholarship to Arkansas or something for cheerleading. I mean, yeah, she's a stud.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went through the whole recruiting process with Vincent.
Yep.
And now you're seeing kids go through this recruiting. How has that recruiting process changed from what you've seen now with social media and all this?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I had a kid, the best. I coached a lot of kids.
Yeah. The
best kid I ever coached was my own kid, and most dads can't say that because they don't listen to their dad, right? And he listened, and I knew every kid in the nation when he was coming up, and there wasn't any social media, but I went to all the camps and everything else. And you went out, you ran, and you went out and you hit, and they didn't really see you a lot before that. And the rules were different. You couldn't talk to kids before they were going to be juniors, right?
Yeah.
And now you can't avoid it because it's on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this kid. He hit 3 home runs this week. All right. Well, good.
Yeah, your highlight tape's out there immediately.
Yeah. The 12-year-old, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, watching those guys, like 12.
Yeah.
What happens when they reach puberty?
Right.
No doubt.
I mean, he might still be 5'2", and he's hitting home runs on a 200-foot field.
Right.
12-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Wait till they get on the 300-foot and the 400s out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we played guys.
Playing 60, 90 bases. And,
yeah. When we played, when the select team was coming up in the late 90s, we had to wash cars where Wendy's is down there at Booty Road and Sawdust, and then to raise money so we could pay the initiation fee to go to Dallas, because there wasn't any select ball here, to play the game. And we showed up one time, and I think the kids drove there. They had a couple kids. They were shaving, and these are 14-year-olds. like wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it's not going to change. The game is not going to change. The rules have, the bigger bases, and you can't run into anybody, and you can't throw inside. Somebody might get their feelings hurt. Now we've got the ABS, which I don't know. That could be good. That could be bad. They're doing that in college, aren't they, or no? No ABS, no challenging. No, just the minor leagues. Yeah. I don't think they're doing it in college.
They're the majors now too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And has it changed the game much? It is just, there's not enough data yet. You'll know at the end of the year, well, this many challenges occurred and this many were confirmed and this one were not. When it was confirmed, did the guy hit a home run? Jordan last night called timeout and they didn't give it to him. The umpire called a strike.
I saw that.
Then he hits a double. I'll show you.
There was a walk-off yesterday.
After an ABS?
After an ABS. It was a clear ball. Called it a strikeout, game over. And challenge, called it a ball. Dude hits a walk-off home run.
Oh, wow.
See, that's what I mean. When we get that data, is that going to mean, and then is that team, did they get in the playoffs by one game?
Right.
That'll be big.
Yeah.
So do you go to any of the Ole Miss games?
I did. I went to two games this year. I went to LSU game where we beat LSU at Ole Miss, and then I went to the playoff game against Tulane. Oh, wow. So it was a really cool experience. When I was in school there, we were like the bottom basement. It was horrible. We were on the death penalty that was second behind SMU. They only had the one word. I mean, we played no bowls. No. I remember when we got out of college, my second or third year out of college, my college room and I were all fired up. We went to the Poulon Weed Eater Independence Bowl in Shreveport, and we thought it was like all world, right?
And it was probably a turf field.
It was horrible. I mean, we were So it's come a long way, and it's just Oxford's a great town. I mean, it's a really great town. Great baseball town too. We won the Natty in that 4 years ago. I forget it is, but it was, that was remarkable that we were able to do that. And so it'll be that SEC is just like it's a gauntlet, especially now with Texas and OU in there and A&M. I mean, it's just LSU, Mississippi State. I mean, top to bottom, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. I mean, it's nonstop, all up and down. So it's a hard district, but it's great to be in a community. I mean, I loved going there in the SEC and seeing some of the talent that would come through. I mean, it was just remarkable.
And then Indiana wins the national championship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. So
yeah.
Italian guy. Hey, how you doing?
Having a couple 6-year seniors didn't help. Didn't hurt. I mean.
Well, that's the deal with the pool. I don't like playing here. I'm going to go next door.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden,
and
Mendoza, he was a nobody. I mean, somebody gave him a chance, and he said, okay.
Sure.
And then he got another chance. I mean, everybody, so he went there like, get lost, you loser.
Yeah.
And then he ends up at Indiana, and Heisman Trophy, first pick of the draft. I mean.
My father-in-law's an Indiana grad, and he pulled all of his Indiana gear out of like mothball, stuff. He's wearing it like every day now. So
you guys got to invest in some better socks, though. Because on this show, we talk about our socks.
Oh.
You might not want to talk about mine.
Jeez. I'm calling Sheriff Doolittle.
Would you? I have glaucoma.
I didn't realize this is the Sage Steel podcast.
Oh, yeah. This is, everybody has good socks unless you're Adam Dunn. He doesn't wear socks. Not sure if he wears underwear, but I didn't ask him because that guy's a big dude. Get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to tell people in that camera right there about the Woodlands and, the future of the Woodlands? Why should people live here? Why should they come here? I mean, got a lot of good stuff, education, entertainment, medical,
Medical. We got a medical center here right in our backyard.
When Angelica was born in 88, the Woodlands Hospital, which is now Herman Memorial, that was like 2 stories. And we had the baby, and it was growing so much in 88, it was like, all right, had your baby, get your stuff and get out. Let's go. We need the bed for the next
Yeah,
lady.
let's
There's
go.
a lady out here that's cramping. It's like, okay, we're out.
That's right.
I mean,
Wash the sheets.
Vincent was born in 81, St. Luke's downtown. Nick, 84, Conroe.
Yeah. I was
No-
in 1960.
What?
I think. Me in 82, I think.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
That's what my parents tell me.
Yeah. There was no,
My wife lived here, but in '79 was born in Conroe.
she was 12 when he married her.
Nice.
Those Mississippi guys.
No,
So,
I think the biggest thing is, we're getting older. We turned 50 years old. I think we're 52 now. We've got to make sure we keep the level of quality that we expect. We can't slack. We've got competition now. That's another thing. We have a lot of competition around us.
what?
Well,
What competition?
Danny Signorelli, he lives here and calls it home. His company's located here, but he's developing Valley Ranch on the
East
other
County.
side of East County, and he's doing a great job with it. But Danny's probably one of the most competitive dudes I've ever met in my life, and he's going to go after businesses. He's going to go after shopping. He's going to do everything he can to grow that, and that's good for our county.
In Bridgeland.
Yeah, and then
And his
Bridgeland,
office is right here in the Woodlands.
right here in the Woodlands. And
Yeah.
he lives in
How
East
about
Shore. You should have Danny on one time. You guys
Yeah,
like,
I'd love to.
yeah.
I've talked to him a few times, but
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's scared of me because of my last name. But
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, so Rico, they might have like a Rico trial. The two of you guys in here.
I didn't say that. Jay.
Uncle Guido will be waiting
Bailey, he's
outside.
probably not even from this country.
That's funny, but no, I think we've got competition. We got to stay up on our game. We've got to make sure that we really look at our law enforcement needs, listen to our law enforcement about what they need. Technology is drastically changing quickly in that area, and also we need to compete for corporate headquarters and our business side of it. I always like to point out the Anadarko example. Anadarko had 2 buildings in the Woodlands that were spending millions of dollars supporting our community, from United Ways to Rotary clubs to interfaith, and then one day, poof, they're bought. They didn't leave the Woodlands because they didn't feel safe or they didn't like it or anything. They left because they were acquired, and they had to go back and backfill those things up. That hurts our local economy. We've got to make sure we go recruit the type of businesses we want here to stay here, and it helps our overall economy because people shop here. People have, people coming in town, visitors, hotels fill up because of that. So economic development's a big one for us. But we also got to start looking at economic development countywide. You lived here a long time. That little river we got running through the North County and South County is real.
Yep.
And
Mason-Dixon line.
But we've got to stop that. We've got to start really working with our fellow Montgomery County friends to work and see how we can recruit the headquarters here and the manufacturing hub that they have to Splendora or East County or what have you, and really grow it and target the ones we want. So that's my biggest thing that we need to do.
That's cool.
Well,
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to add to that. I mean, we touched on it earlier. We have a tremendous value proposition here in the Woodlands to our residents, right? He talked about that 30-70 split, 30% of our revenue.
That's pretty impressive.
Is taxpayer, 70% sales and use tax. I mean, that's huge. That's a huge advantage that we have with a low tax rate for our residents. All the amenities we have, a $500,000 home, you pay about $800 in property tax to the Woodlands Township a year.
That's it?
For all the amenities that
I
you
might
get,
move back.
right? Hey,
You should.
talk to
You
your wife. Talk to
I
your
can't
wife.
believe you left in the first place.
I'm not bringing
Yeah.
her.
Nice. But we've got to continue that in pushing that ratio, because we've got to get creative, and that's what they did before I got on the board of getting that mixed beverage tax.
How'd you get so smart? You went to UT?
Yeah,
What does that tell you?
rubbed off on.
And what
me,
was your
I
degree
guess.
in?
Actually, undergrad mechanical engineering. I don't know how. I tried to get into the business school and got denied, but I got
from
into
his mom.
engineering school.
You got it from my mom.
That's right.
Yeah, she's engineered all right.
Yeah, from Louisiana. from USL. Ooh la la.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
What are they? The
Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns.
Raging
That's
Cajuns.
right. You
Yeah.
la la.
Yeah. No offense, Mom. Who dat?
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't
Don't you have a sister? Excuse me.
I've got an older sister.
Yeah, she went to Rice.
Yeah, she went to Rice. There's the
I
Rice
like
connection.
her.
She's the smart one.
And
Yeah.
so value preposition, and you're just going to take over the reins in November, hopefully.
We gotta get reelected, and the board will.
So it's you and
keep-
two other
keep
people
moving
that
on.
up for re-election?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he'll have an open seat.
Now, if somebody wants to go check out the Woodlands, where do they go? What website do they go? The Woodlands Township.
Woodlands Township website. Yeah. Woodlands Township dot.
Is it org or
TX?
Woodlands Township TX
dot.
Dash TX.
Are you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys from here?
Yeah. Look, fact check that.
Google the Woodlands Township. Yeah.
Also visit the Woodlands. Huh?
Visitthewoodlands.com is another one that for our visitors to entertain.
You probably don't spend a lot of time on the webpage.
And go follow Visit the Woodlands on Instagram. They do a great job.
Woodlands, great place.
Are you trying to wrap us up?
No, why? What do you?
Okay.
You gotta take some medicine or something?
Yeah, it's dinner time. Yeah, it's about the time.
What do you got?
I'm getting the shakes. No, I didn't want to leave here without giving you your flowers. We were talking about baseball earlier, and you coaching me, and I was this guy talking about visionary, like revolutionized like warm up music.
Did he really?
Dude, all-star team, 93, when we went to the state tournament. We would go before games, go over to his house. He had a sweet setup in his backyard, batting cage and everything. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. We'd have practices over there and just hit for hours in his backyard.
Until the Woodlands found out about it.
Yeah.
What do you got back there?
Need to get approval for that. So we'd all meet up over there, and then on the way, we'd all go over to the game together, and we'd roll in. The other team was already there. I think that was strategic on his part. They're already warming up, and we'd all roll in, blasting "Welcome to the Jungle," windows down, and we're right in the back of the truck. We're here, and then we'd have one of our guys, older brothers, with his souped-up truck and a big old sound system,
just like walking out
in the outfield,
like Kenny Powers.
We go to take infield right before the game. The other teams in the dugout just like watching you. We always kind of scout the other team as they're doing infield. And at this point, like this was a show. We had rehearsed this in practice.
Does he have like some guy like holding up a big jam box like Kenny Powers?
It was almost like that. It was what was the song? The Heat Is On.
The Heat Is On.
The Heat Is On.
Man, and we were just.
That was the name of our team.
The Heat. Clockwork. We had everyone knew what they were doing, what throws were going where. I was in right field. I remember I was almost throwing my arm out. I was so pumped up, and we were throwing to third and throwing home. And he would say like, "Those guys are watching you. You throw as hard as you can to third and home, and they're gonna think twice about running on you." And
dude,
by God, we did.
You're telling me you warmed up to Kenny Loggins' "The Heat Is On"?
We did.
And you know what?
Absolutely.
They made us stop doing it when we got to like the third. You can't play music during your warm ups.
Why
like,
not?
Well, of course it was Axl Rose.
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd never been more pumped up. When I was 11 years old, man, I didn't know what that was. I was like, this is awesome. Let's go play baseball.
And they stopped noisemakers, and you can't yell. Now in high school, if you yell at an umpire from the stands, he can throw you out of the.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they're taking all the fun out of it, right? When I was done coaching, I'm thinking, oh, good, now I can really heckle the umpires. No, you get thrown out. I'm like, that's terrible. But yeah, good times.
It was good times. And I'll tell you what, though, still 2 takeaways that I still use with my son and when I was coaching his team. And F you attitude.
All right.
This is a family show. F you attitude.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah, have fun out there. And in the tube.
In the tube. Still have the poster.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the tube, right? You're out there playing. You don't see anything in the stands. You gotta have a big old curtain around the stands. You got a big old tube from you.
Focus.
To the
How do you
focus.
remember this stuff?
I was an impressionable young man. I was an impressionable young man.
Yeah, you were. And, scarred for life.
Scarred for
Good
life.
scars.
Clearly scarred. No, but seriously, that was. I still.
That's awesome.
I took that on to my later.
It's funny because I grew up with the Bob Gibsons and the Seavers, and played catch with Robin Yount in minor league ball, and Tony Gwynn and all those guys that they were just Biggio. I mean, we had his kid on our team, and he said, why don't they run to first base? I said, Craig, they don't do that anymore. What? I said, Craig Biggio probably has 50 hits just from beating grounders out, right?
Sure.
And I said, they just don't do that. Well, they need to do that. And I said, well, they don't. I said, I can't, no. There's a lot of things they do differently. But I was throwing batting practice to my grandson and Adam Dunn's son. They're on the same summer team. And Jackson hit a one hopper to the fence at Tom Ball. And Casey says, Jackson, that's a bat flip. And he said, oh, no. He said, well, why not? He said, because my pop said if I ever did that in a game, he'd run out on the field and slap the crap out of me.
You would.
And I said, yeah, you don't do that. And then Adam Dunn said, never did that. And so, and Adam talked about that the era has changed, that the philosophy, and you hit a home run when you're down 10-0 and you're like,
Sure.
look at me, and like, you're 10-1 now, okay? Or you're 10-0 and you hit a home run. Oh, look at me, right?
It's the me generation.
The next guy's going to get one, right? He's going to wear, as Nolan Rice say, he's going to have a bow tie. So, and that's why I say at 12 years old, you got bigger bases. You want to encourage stealing. Ricky Henderson averaged 54 bases a year, right? By the All-Star break,
right.
usually. And so it's just hard-nosed deal. I met a guy today when I was charging up my EV vehicle, and he said, I grew up in Kingwood, and we were hard-nosed. I said, yeah, don't change that. Don't change that attitude.
Right.
Because when you're competing, and it doesn't matter if you're competing for the township chairman or vice chairman, you're competing to make it better.
Yep.
And you don't want to hear all the little weenie beanie guys. Yeah. Well, you don't know anything. You never even hear. Pick up a rake and rake the field. And so it's I'm never going to change that. I mean, that's the way I grew up with no dad. My mom said, I don't care what you do, as long as you're the best at it. I don't care if you dig ditches. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So
I think being competitive in the Woodlands it's also in our DNA. We were very competitive.
People get scared of the C word, competition.
Yeah.
And I've been a commissioned salesperson my whole life since I was 5 years old, winning the Christmas card for the church and the newspaper sales and this sale and that sale. I thought you were supposed to do that. I thought you're supposed to be good. And Vince Lombardi says, I don't have any intention of being good. I want to be great.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not here to lose. Winning is everything. And it's okay. It's okay to, one of the posters I saw was about baseball. Here's some rules of baseball. Is this my podcast or yours? So one of the, it was striking out's not that bad. I said, well, I'm not getting that poster.
Yeah.
Striking out is bad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unless you're hitting 500 home runs, and that happens too. Hey, Reggie Jackson struck out more than anybody, but he's in the Hall of Fame hitting a lot of home runs. So, all right, so home runs with the Woodlands.
Well,
that's a home run. I mean, when I came up here, I was selling chemicals, and I talked to Louise Golden at Tamarack Pines, chain smoker. Betty, you got to come out and see me at Tamarack Pines. I said, all right, where's that? The Woodlands. Where's the Woodlands? Oh, it's out there north of Spring. I got to the Goodyear Blimp. And I'm like, where in the heck is the what? Did I go past it?
Yeah, I miss it.
And when I drove in, I said, this is where I want to live. And so we bought a house in 1980 for 16% interest. So nobody can buy a house now because the interest rates are 6. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not affordable. We raised 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
We did it. Didn't have anybody helping us. Well, we did, but we didn't have anybody giving us money and babysitting and all that. You can do it. But people are so soft. I mean, come on. Unless you married like, a young girl.
Yeah. Well done.
And then, they're calling her sis instead of mom. Anyway, good stuff. Man, thanks for coming.
I appreciate it. Yeah. To those few watching.
Now, look, we have sponsors, and you can be a sponsor if you want, but we have some really good sponsors on this show, and we didn't think it would take off, but it really has. So, and then people call us now to do podcasts.
We called you. We had to lobby you, throw out ideas.
Yeah.
You gave us the Heisman for about 2 weeks, and I called Craig. I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Vinny won't even give us a call back. So finally, I guess we
I have an agent.
Yeah. I called his burner phone.
Well, I mean, we're backing up, dude. Hey, we're backing up Berkman and Adam Dunn. That's not too bad.
Yeah, those are some big shoes
no, you know what?
With no socks.
Everybody has a story, and it needs to be told because people didn't know before today about you being a rebel. They didn't know about you being an electrical engineer or mechanical engineer, whatever. You grew up here. I mean, you were born here pretty much, other than 1960. And get out of there quick. And so that's what needs to be told. People don't. Every podcast we've done, I didn't know Lance Berkman wanted to go to A&M. I mean, what? Huh. Yeah. Nobody knows that stuff, and it's really cool. It's informational. We want to make it like Johnny Carson for young kids. Johnny Carson was before Leno. If you don't know who Leno is, you're way young. So, right? And we just want to have fun and talk about all sorts of neat stuff, not just about how great the Woodlands is, because everybody knows that, but the baseball stories, the kids' stories. Yeah. You're going to be running for state rep. I mean, it's cool.
It's great.
All right, what else?
Well, thanks for having us, man.
We wrapping it up?
Appreciate it.
I don't know.
Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Love you, man.
Seriously.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Hey, keep tuning in. We're going to have so much great content. It's ridiculous. These guys are going to share it to their big network of 636 people, and just keep tuning in. Vinny Sinisi, out to lunch. Peace.